Hi everyone, and welcome to the Almost Cancelled TV podcast. I'm Peter, and I'm joined with Connor.
Hey, Ron.
And let's talk about Supergirl. We're talking about Season 1, Episode 6. See, we're back in order now, because we had 5, then we had 4, now we're at 6.
Sets my mind at ease.
Going forward, yeah. And we also found out, just like yesterday or today, that we're getting 20 episodes this season, so that's nice. So, yay. But let's talk about episode 6, and that is Red Face. Now, full spoilers for this episode, as always. The description from IMDb states the following. Stress makes Kara go too far during a training exercise against a military cyborg commissioned by General Sam Lane. That was a long part. That's not even the end of the sentence. That's just... Jesus. While Kat's mother comes to visit Wynn... Oh, sorry. Kat's mother does not come to visit Wynn. Kat's mother comes to visit, and Wynn helps Alex investigate her father's death.
That makes much more sense.
It does make more sense.
I would just like to point out, I don't think that's accurate. That said cyborg, and I don't think it was a cyborg. I think it was an AI in a robotic body.
You know what, you're right, it's a robot, not a cyborg. Or an android, specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, cyborg, if you don't know, a cyborg is a mixture between human and... So, the Terminator's a cyborg, because there's flesh on it.
Potentially Hank Henshaw.
Potentially Hank Henshaw's a cyborg. You know, where humans mix with a robot, like Robocop as well, cyborg. When it's just pure robot, it's an android. Or just a robot. Generally just use robot, you don't usually say android that much, but that's the technical term.
That's what they said in the show, to be fair.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's your lesson in nerdy robotics. But anyway, yeah, this episode of Supergirl. And, yeah, so the gist of this one is that Kara, or Supergirl's getting angry and losing her temper a little bit. Although, to be honest, I thought the first scene where she's sort of like flying, you know, it's nice and relaxing up here, and she goes down to stop those two idiot drivers, right? And I thought that scene didn't really, I didn't really buy that she was that angry in that scene.
No, she was just a bit peeved off that, oh, come on, you nearly ran over these kids. Stop being a dick.
Yeah, but everyone reacted in horror as if she did something really awful when she just
Yeah,
grabbed the
but
punch.
the guy kind of just punched. She twisted his arm and he was like, oh, I'm hurt. It's like, oh.
Because to me, that just sounded like he was trying to, like, play it up so he could sue her.
Yeah, it's like, don't try and punch someone you know is fucking, like, super strong. Why would you do such a stupid thing?
Yeah. Whatever. I will say, I actually, in the end, really liked this episode.
Me too.
But before we get to all the good stuff, and there is a lot of good stuff to talk about, I do want to bring up some stuff I did not like, because even though this episode was actually very good in the end, there was a lot of stupidity throughout. Now, admittedly, this first one I'm going to bring up is made slightly less severe by the end of the episode. But still, a lot of it still applies, and that's the fact that that Sam Lane shows up, and his daughter works for him, and that scene, yeah, made me easily made me just hate both of them, quite frankly. So they show up with their robot named Red Tornado, who looks a bit stupid and doesn't look anything like Red Tornado really does in the comics. But whatever, right? That aside, all the fighting stuff with the robot was actually quite good. So she tests the robot, that's what they want her to do. She tests it, she gets angry and freeze breaths and cuts off the arm and whatever. That's all fine. Then the robot flies off. And right away, Sam Lane comes running out, you know, in his general uniform, says, "You idiot. It's just went into like self-protection mode. You've just unleashed an uncontrollable killing machine over the city."
It's like, well, why would you let it go without having a failsafe, you fucking moron?
I actually yelled out at the screen, why did you make a killing machine that is somehow uncontrollable? It should, under no circumstances, be uncontrollable.
I know.
No circumstances. Now, admittedly...
Have they not seen films, ever?
Now, admittedly, we do find out later that the evil English guy who's controlling it is always controlling it, right? Well, until the very end, but right, and that negates at least part of it in the sense that okay, it wasn't uncontrollable. That's fine.
It's the fact they all believed that.
Yeah. Sam Lane believed that. He said this was $1 billion project or something like that. $6 billion is whatever he says. And I'm like, you spent all this money on a killing machine, thinking that you couldn't just turn it off.
Oh, the level of stupidity is off the chart.
So that's that. That's out there. I wanted to put that out there. I wanted to make that clear. That was stupid. Also, I thought the stuff with Maxwell Lord in this one was a bit. I feel like he's really hamming it up. Like he's really overacting. Like
Yeah.
it's like so just in case you didn't know, he was actually a villain. He's going to say every single line like he's the.
I think it's that CBS thing, like you know how they have the really extended previouslys in case someone's
Yeah.
missed stuff. I feel like it's like for the first 12 episodes, we're gonna go in case someone's coming in, just really play it up.
Because I feel like they're supposed to. I think they're setting up that Alex is going to fall for him, and I'm like, that's fine. It's a bit cliched, but it's fine. Except every single thing he says to her also sounds evil. So, yeah.
I wonder if it's like one of those things there, like if you didn't think he was evil and you thought he was a good guy, maybe it just you'd overlook it and wouldn't think he was so evil.
Maybe, but it's hard to separate yourself from that.
It is.
Now, I thought it was weird how both Jimmy, or actually more so Lucy, and Kat, both had parents coming to town in the same episode, who by the end of the episode they both like tell off and like stand up to.
Yeah, it was
thought-
convenient, wasn't it?
It's not even. I wouldn't even say it's convenient. It's just kind of weird that it happened in the same episode. Like if these were like 2 or 3 episodes apart, I wouldn't even think about it. But because it was in the same episode, I'm like, they're both doing almost the exact same
I
thing.
mean, Kat's at least felt more natural because at least an episode or 2 episodes ago, maybe she mentioned her mom and she was having problems over the phone, and like it's been seeded at least that she's had problems with.
Well,
her
yeah,
phone.
but at the same time, to be fair, generally Lane's always been this way.
He has, but not in this show. To be fair, like they could have done him in a couple of episodes.
Yeah, true. But I'm saying it's not out of character for him to be acting the way he's acting.
No.
He's the same dick he's always been, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, that brings me on to the dinner scene with Jimmy and Lucy and her dad. When she goes to the bathroom, you know, he wastes no time. Wastes no
No,
time
he
in
doesn't.
ripping Jimmy down like as hard as he can. And you know what? That scene was oddly kind of. I don't know if it was the music they were playing during it, but it was oddly kind of poignant.
Yeah, I think it was the music. It was the same with the end of the episode as well. It was the music, just like it's like whoa, adds an extra level to it.
It does. Because I found myself oddly being okay with that scene, and I didn't think I would be, but it was kind of working for me.
It didn't play off as cheesy as you'd expect in
No,
this show.
well, do you know what it was though? Is because when he says you align yourself with people you think are special, but you know that doesn't make you special. I was like, that's actually a really hard hitting line because it's not even like it's just referencing him in this. It's referencing Jimmy Olsen as a character forever. Even though, yeah, Jimmy Olsen isn't really Jimmy Olsen in this because you know he's a big hunky black man.
And it's James.
And he's James, yeah. But you know, like, even the press release for his character said he's an alpha male, and he's not meant to be an alpha male. He's meant to be a dweeb. I mean, race isn't an issue. He could be fucking green for all I care, but he has to be a dweeb to be Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, that's kind of an essential part.
Yeah. But whatever. We're getting used to him just being his own thing for this show.
I think we're kind of just over that, and it's just
Yeah.
at least he's a decent enough character in his own right.
Yeah, he's decent enough, so it's fine. But that line was actually quite poignant to me. I thought, actually, that's actually kind of hitting on something kind of cool there.
I hope they come back to that at some point.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to look at his character. So, although that's it, I did think Sam Lane looking down upon a award-winning photographer was a little bit weird. Like, that's not good enough for his daughter.
Yeah, but then again, I feel like no one's good enough for his daughter.
Yeah, that's true. But as he was saying it, I'm like, he's an award-winning photographer who's worked at like 2 of the biggest like papers in this country.
Maybe he views his move to National City as a demotion almost away from the
maybe.
planet.
I don't know.
He's like, that's not good enough. You're not at the very best.
I'm not
so-
gonna lie. For during that statement, I was thinking he's just racist.
It didn't cross my mind, I'll be honest.
It crossed my mind because the job he's like diminishing is actually quite a good job. I didn't understand his line of thinking there, but
You say that, but he's military. His daughter's military, and I suppose he's trying to. He'd prefer her to be with someone military, maybe.
maybe.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I didn't go to racist. That's it.
yeah. Oh, funnily enough, they did poke a race joke in later on when Kara takes him to the angry relief
Yeah, they
scene,
did.
and she's like, "Oh," and because a lot of the shows does done a few times where it brings up sort of like feminist issues, or maybe not even quite feminist issues, but just the women's.
rights, almost.
What'd you say? Sorry.
It is like promoting women's.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not equality. It's
Just the different things they maybe have to face that we don't realise
Yeah.
as men, right? Or just the things that they feel like they can't get away with because we, I don't know, would look down on them or whatever, right? But Kara's like, I can't get angry because the cat tells that story about Perry and the Daily Planet throwing a chair through a window, but how that scene is normal for a man to do, but if a woman did that, it would be, oh no, she's crazy, she's a crazy bitch, lock her up. Maybe that's a fair point. I don't know. Never worked in his office, but and he cracks a little joke. Well, technically, I mean, it's not really good for a black man to act angry in public either. I thought it was a funny line.
I did too.
I appreciate that line. It was funny.
There's a few times I laughed in this episode.
There was a few times. Now, obviously, the main thing is Kara's gets angry and she's trying to control her anger, and she even outbursts to Kat, which I really enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, I actually shocked me a little bit because I didn't expect that at all.
I was almost expecting her just to drop a "you bitch" at the end of it.
I was waiting for Kat to just destroy her.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's not what I thought. I see when she went shh, I thought she was going to say, "Don't spoil it, just walk out," like she respected it.
I could have seen that, yeah.
But instead she took her for a chink.
I like how she's still calling her Kira as well.
Yeah, that's good. Kira, Kara, lots of other names. And I like the same with her as well, because I thought the one element was cheesy. The whole I need to find the anger behind the anger. I thought that line was really cheesy, but everything else with her, like talking to her and trying to like tell her what it's like, and just trying to help out someone, you can sort of tell she respects now. Like they're sort of building this weird mother-daughter thing between them.
Yeah, it is a bit weird because it's happened a lot over the past few episodes that they've just kind of had a better relationship, even though they're still boss and assistant, and she's still kind of demeaning to her at times. It's definitely less than it was in the beginning.
Yeah, I think it's building something, and I like it. I like that it's doing that because it's character progression, and that's good. And I do actually have to say, I mean, I like that there's a show specifically bringing up these things because I'm not used to seeing that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of any other shows that I watch that. I mean, some of it's a bit on the head. Don't get me wrong, but I can't think of any other shows that I watch that really bring up.
The only thing that comes to mind is recently the articles comparing this to Jessica Jones and saying that does all of the feminist issues better.
Maybe it does, but that's
But
not
it's
the argument.
different. No.
I don't want to get into that argument because that article was stupid. But no, I just I like this bringing up. It adds a bit of variety of things. And you know what? I'm someone who would quite happily have half of the shows on TV, be focused on female characters or whatever. Like,
Doesn't make a difference to me.
no, it doesn't really.
Good show's a good show. I don't care who's the lead.
Yeah, I agree. But the funny thing is, because it has been such a one-sided thing, it is nice to have now because we're so used to like 90% of it just being male superheroes or male this or male that.
Sure.
So yeah. It feels nice. It shouldn't feel nice. It should feel normal. But it feels nice. That's been a feminist hour here on the Almost Cancelled podcast. Now, but I like that stuff, and I like and I think the moment you alluded to earlier on was when she gets angry at the end and uses her heat vision to basically melt Red Tornado.
Yeah.
Or explode Red Tornado. That was a really good moment. And
It was fantastically done.
The music played a lot to it, but the quick flashbacks,
her acting as well. To be fair, she looked angry as fuck. Like, it was really well done.
Oh, Melissa Benoist is the best part of the show. She always has been.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm totally down on her in this role now, and she was great in that scene. I thought the scene worked really well. The setup for it was a bit like, why is Red Tornado sentient now? And he hasn't been.
I was like, okay, I know where this is going from as soon as he was introduced.
Yeah.
It's like, this has got to happen at some point.
But it's like,
But it was just cause.
will they try to say that because the guy died while the telepath thing was on, that he transferred to it? Was that what they were getting
Do you
at?
know what? I really hope that they deal with the fact that she just killed a sentient being.
I don't
They're
think
not
they will.
going to, but I
Nah,
wish
I don't
they
think
would.
will. To be fair, it's a sentient being that immediately tried to kill things, so
It's true, but has she killed the other ones, or she just captured them?
she's captured them for the most part, I think.
That's what I mean. I can't remember. She let the suicide bomber die.
Well, she didn't let him die.
No, but she kind of didn't stop him either, really, did she?
Well, his hand was on the button. It's not. She's not that
No, I know,
fast.
but that's what I mean. It's like she kind of she still allowed it to. I mean, I'm not saying that it was entirely her fault. I'm saying she accepted the death.
I don't know why this has got a place in this conversation.
Because I'm just saying, like, all the other criminals and aliens, she hasn't, like, killed them. She's kind of captured them, and it's been no death. That was the only other one that I can think of that's actually died as a villain. Whereas this one, it was, okay, like, it, even though, I don't know, did she know it was sentient? Like, she must know. She was on the
Comms. Yeah.
comms, yeah. And then she did kill a sentient being, which, you know, I don't know, just seems a touch weird.
I'm cool with it.
I don't mind it. I just like to see it addressed. That's all.
It was a robot that was alive for about 10 seconds and immediately tried to kill things. Honestly, I'm good. I don't think there should be a moral quandary for the show.
Well, maybe someone should do a show exploring the moral quandaries of what happens if you kill sentient robots, and it should be this one.
Other small things I like to get away from this stupid conversation. I thought Wynn's grow on me because Wynn's line when he finds out Lucy's been invited to game night, and Kara's like, "Oh, it'll be fun." She walks away and he's like, "It won't be fun." Okay.
I really liked him during the game night as well, and he was just like, oh, "Your cousin, this was easy."
Yeah, that was good.
And she's just like, "Shit."
That was good. I liked that. The game night stuff was fun. Lucy and James's relationship, I can take it or leave it.
Standard cliche, whatever.
But no, I like Kara's arc in this. I like the fights. The fact that the Red Tornado could actually make tornadoes, I don't think really had much of an explanation. So the setup for a lot of the actual things for her to punch were a bit goofy, but the actual moments where she let out her rage and stuff were actually really good.
I even thought her sister's fight with the guy controlling tornado was pretty well choreographed and shot as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Same.
I thought it was surprisingly decent considering I'd have thought most of the effort was on the Supergirl fight.
Also, I'm going to make a prediction here. I totally think Hank's not going to be a villain now.
Oh, really? Why is that? It's too
Because
obvious.
It's too obvious. I feel like they're setting him up to be the villain so bad. And there's moments where he's actually quite a nice guy, like he's stuck up for Supergirl in this one, where he's like pulling down General Lane. And I thought, and at the end of the episode, we're like, "Oh, he was the last person to see your dad alive." Dun dun dun. I was like, I bet he's going to be a good guy. This is spoilers for Harry Potter, but he is going to be Snape. They're going to think he's a villain, and then it's going to turn out he was a hero.
Also, if you don't know the story of Harry Potter right now, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Oh, it's fine. Slight tangent here, just before we wrap up. My friend Fiona was a big Harry Potter fan. She I don't know when exactly she got into it along the way, but she was reading the books as they were coming out, for the last few of them at least. And it was after the 6th book came out, right? So the movies were only up to maybe the 4th movie at that point.
Sounds about right.
And I wasn't reading the books. I didn't really care enough to read, but I'd seen the movies. And I remember she just read the 6th book, and if you know, and I won't spoil it, but if you know what happens in the 6th book, at that point you're pretty set in the fact that Snape's a bad guy. You know, you're pretty sure he's a villain. And I was discussing a couple of early films with her, and I said, yeah, right from the first movie, I knew Snape's going to be a hero by the end of this story. And she'd read the 6th book at this point, and she's like, I don't know, Peter, you may want to wait to prediction. It's like, I don't care what's happened in the 6th book. There's going to be a 7th. I will bet you money that by the end of this story, he will be a tragically redeemed hero. I will bet you fucking money. Still not been paid.
Well, did you actually make a bet, or did you just say you would bet?
I feel like I did. I just want to say I was right. I was right on that call. I feel like I'm going to be right in this. Even though Hank Henshaw from the comics is meant to be a villain eventually, I feel like he might be kind of a villain at some point, but I think he may end up coming back.
Or perhaps they really will go the Martian Manhunter route.
Yeah, maybe they will.
People are speculating.
But yeah, we've actually went longer on this than I think we have in the other episodes. So yeah, Supergirl was some of the setup, some of the Red Tornado stuff was a bit goofy, and just made no sense logic wise. But the core character stuff and Kara getting angry, and there was legitimately 3 or 4 scenes in this that actually kind of impressed me and were above the quality that I've come to expect from this, and I've been enjoying it.
I'd say this is the best episode yet.
Yeah, and that's despite the stupidity parts.
Yeah, like I can get over them because the payoff from what they were actually setting up was well worth it.
Yeah. And like I say, her using her heat vision like that and getting stronger and stronger, she was getting angry, was really cool. I suppose to finish off, we should mention at the end she gets cut with a bit of glass and she bleeds.
Yeah.
Which is very intriguing. I'd guess that something in Red Tornado that he was made of was probably some random colour of kryptonite that's done it.
Yeah, he was made to go against aliens anyway, so I'm sure they had some defense against Kryptonians in there.
So I'm going to guess it was something like that. Who knows? Maybe it's something different. But we'll find out, I'm sure, next week. So this has been our Supergirl review for this week.